Hey everyone, I'm back with my pal Deepak Shukla from Pro Lemon. Deepak, how you doing today?
I am good, Courtney. It's been a little while. Hello.
I know it's been way too long since we've chatted. So today, let's talk about local SEO in 2018. Does that sound like a good topic to talk about today?
Sounds like a good topic. Let's do it.
Good, let's do it. Okay, so as you know, and as I know, local SEO is critical if you want to stay relevant, if you're a local business, if you want to stay relevant online. So, 4 out of 5 consumers are using search to find even information about local things. So it's not just these big companies that need to be optimizing for SEO. First of all, let's go ahead and talk about what local SEO is and why that's important. Do you want to lead us off?
Yeah, brilliant. I think that I mean, at its simplest, local SEO is literally, searching for a business or a service that's local to you. So I'm based in London, but more specifically, and this is where it becomes interesting, within London, of course, London's made up of like counties and smaller towns, just as with, in Brussels, where you are, any major city. So I would search, for example, as I did yesterday, I searched DIY Fulham because I was looking for my nearest DIY store. I say yesterday, I went back there yesterday because I forgot the name of the store. But that is the same store now that I go to all of the time. And that is a perfect principle of how I think a lot of people use search to actually find local businesses.
So, what do you think has changed about local SEO in the last couple of years, just with different algorithm updates?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it was at 2015 when Google released RankBrain, that like, kind of looking at kind of semantics. Basically, local search has become more intelligent. Traditionally, what perhaps would happen is that you could, I don't know, rank on some, put your business up on a couple of directories, build a couple of pages, and you wouldn't need to perhaps do much more. Now, that alone isn't enough because I guess maybe a better equivalent of looking at it is certain platforms, for example, like LinkedIn allows you to keyword stuff, right? Because it's a simpler algorithm. Classified job boards are a perfect example for the analogy that I'm about to demonstrate for how local SEO has changed. So when I started SEO, I used to put ads on Gumtree, right? So I was trying to find some work as like helping people write their applications for like jobs, for university applications, personal statements, this kind of stuff. And I discovered that if I keyword stuff my title, cover letter, CV, application, I would just ultimately generate more income because I would appear in a higher range of searches that have revolved around these keywords plus any variations. That is, and it's obviously a lot more complex, but local SEO in relative to international SEO is also less, let's say, sophisticated. So what would traditionally happen is that you could do something of that ilk. You'd be like, right, I'll build a couple of local SEO pages for DIY Fulham, DIY Notting Hill, DIY Chelsea, and then I can start appearing. And to a degree, that does work, right? But alone, that isn't enough anymore. It's much more kind of multifaceted at the moment. So what has changed, for example, we spoke about RankBrain and understanding, words and context and how they fit. But Google looks at a range of factors that it didn't used to. So social and social signals are now a part of, are a part of SEO. So, if you have a business that is attuned to content being shared, so let's say that you have a local play day center, where you can drop your children off to a nursery and you can take pictures, and you might snap pictures of your children and then share them on your Facebook newsfeed, for example, and at the actual business, like the local business name. So that would be a great example of a social signal and a social ranking factor that Google would pick up. 5 years ago, it was less relevant. That's the first thing. The second thing that will happen, you'll notice, is that if you go to a business and you have like your Google timeline history, it'll I don't know if anyone's ever used it, but Google have these things like local guides. They're called Google Local Guides, where you can get basically awarded. I play this game because I'm like, oh wow, it's cool. I could be, and it'll be Google will tell me your picture, like just the outside of like my local pizza place where I go at 1 a.m. when I'm like pissed as a fart. it's like, this has got like 792 views this month, and I'll be like, oh wow, it is like, so Google has done also an excellent job of asking you or prompting you to leave a review. So correspondingly, reputation management, and now we come on to, of course, the Google 3-pack, right, which is the thing that ranks above organic search when you're looking, especially on mobile, and we're going to also talk about mobile, is hugely important. And this is, we live in an IMDb type culture, right? You are really inundated with so much information. We get obviously overwhelmed. We have to make short and sharp decisions. So if I'm looking at a Playday center and I search, Fulham Playday Center, I'm just going to naturally gravitate towards the one in the Google 3-pack that has like 19 reviews versus 5 reviews. So reputation management, social signals, the context of the pages that you build and their relevancy to the social signals and the actual ranking. Also, potentially, if you want to go even further, inserting keywords into some of the reputational reviews that you get as a business. So if you do want to be smart, you could make sure that the keyword DIY Fulham, for example, is contained within some of the actual reviews that you get. And all of these factors, if you combine them together, so all of these things have become important. And if you want to be really ninja, of course, and it's link building, right? It's here to stay. It's word of mouth. I'm not going to get into it, but if you are a Playday center and you don't serve coffee on site, for example, have a look at all of your bloody local cafes that are independents, right? Forget the chains, because you're never going to get a link. You can't do any level of link exchange from a chain. But do, of course, right, hey, on your way, stop at Mandy's coffee place. They do wonderful cappuccinos. And, you can begin to build that into your actual local pages. So you can link out to a local business, which Google will also recognize. This is one of the things a lot of people also forget. It's simple, because a lot of people will think about local SEO and they'll say, oh, Deepak, Mandy's Cafe, that's all good and well. I see what you're saying, but Mandy's Cafe is never going to give me a link because they barely know how to use their website, or it's going to take them weeks. And this happens at every level of business, right? And this is why, with all of that being said, Google will still look at the amount of links that you have pointing out to local areas as well to see, how kind of developed is the kind of network, if you like. So everything does help. Local SEO is hugely important. Because someone else asked me about the statistic, and I'm going to try and find it in my keynotes whilst we're on the call. I was actually shocked, Courtney, at the statistics that pertain to this. Okay, here we go. So 50% of consumers who do a local search on their smartphone visit a store within a day. This is 2016 HubSpot, right? The Google 3-pack appears in the top spot in 93% of searches with local intent. So basically every search, it's Google 3-pack is what they're saying. And this is the bit that's mind-blowing. This is the one, 78% of local mobile searches result in offline purchases. 78%.
78%. So that's almost 8 out of 10 people who are looking. Yeah.
You make a local search, you're going to buy something locally. And I'm gonna copy paste that in so you can find it where the link's from. I didn't actually know that at all, and I didn't realize it was that high. It felt like a BS statistic, and then I googled it, and I was like, Jesus Christ! And I haven't. Anyway.
Yeah, but if you do think about, like when you're looking at your own user behavior, your own use case, if you're Googling something, like chances are you're en route to go buy it. Like I'm not just sitting at home watching Netflix, like, I wonder where I can buy like a pack of Oreos right now, just for my curiosity. Like, no, you're gonna obviously you're already in the mood to go buy this certain thing. The other thing I wanted to talk to you that we touched very briefly on is the importance of mobile searches. So like if you're optimizing your site for voice search, this is something that maybe someone with a local business is not quite sure how to do, but it is important. And the reason being is that if I use my phone right now and I just do like a quick voice search, and I say, where's the nearest gas station? Or what do you say? Petrol, right? Petrol.
Oh, yeah, petrol.
So where's the nearest petrol station? If I say that, they're going to give me one answer. I don't have like the options that you would get if you were to do it on desktop or if you were to go into Google Mobile. It's you get one answer specifically that Siri is going to tell you, or that whatever Android users have, whatever their assistant's name is.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that one answer. So I think that also lends itself well to the argument that you do need to be optimizing your site regardless of whether you're a local business or not, because you do want to get that coveted only answer that Siri is giving you, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a really good point. So voice search is definitely also driven when you think about local search. Voice search is really important, and I think I was actually Googling statistics while you're talking around voice search, because I was just around search basically on mobile, and it says that nearly 60% of searches are now performed on a mobile device. And when you're on a mobile device, of course, voice. I'm just curious about the statistics. So 60% of people that run searches are running it from a mobile, which is really important. And then the other thing I think that so a couple of things. So you've got obviously featured snippets that Google does its job of answering, and it will take it from a site, of course, that it feels answers the job excellently. So a couple of things that will help you optimize for voice-based search. Number one, writing a question alongside the answer, almost like it's a mini paragraph. Google seems to, because that fits within the Google text box really quite well. Having a look, and YouTube is probably a great place to this, but having a look at as many kind of how-tos or very contextual query-based questions and answers that you could list, brainstorming a massive list and optimizing those pages with snippets in mind. And if you combine those two alongside making sure the page is an accelerated mobile page and you've optimized it for mobile, and within those pages you make references to local areas and near us or near me, you might find, then doing a combination of those things can have an incredibly powerful result for not only featured snippets, and we've seen this happen with a client or two, featured snippets as well as voice-based search. Now the voice-based search incidentally was an accident, because we were looking to do it with featured snippets, but then we began to appear for voice-based search, and it was really interesting that that happened, and it does make sense when you think about it based upon what Google optimizes upon. So it's important, I'd say, look at queries, look at how-tos, think about kind of question and answer style type responses that people will actually answer. Google Italian place near me, Google these kinds of searches.
Right. And if you're not sure how to find things like that, like something that I sometimes tell some of our customers is go to Quora and type in like exactly what your business is about. If you have a bakery or something, go to Quora, like look at what people are asking, how do I make a chocolate cake? How do I, something like that, something that people are already asking, and then you can go ahead and put that on your blog, and then you'll show up for that. However, what I wanted to also talk to you about is that sometimes with local business, they're not going to be, operating the same way when we tend to create content that's informational. Like like that example, if you have a bakery, I mean, you're probably busy making cupcakes, not writing a blog. So how are some ways that you can get backlinks if you're doing local SEO? How are some ways that you can get other references online if you're not necessarily creating that like super shareable content for your site?
There's a low-level regular stuff that every local business should engage in, because they're more powerful for local businesses. So when I say low-level, I mean your local directories. That's kind of so if you're a local business owner, do an audit of local directories. If you don't appear on Angie's List, on Manta, on Yelp, on Yale, on obviously Google My Business, your Google My Business page, etc., then you should be on them. Not only should you be on them, and these are some of the kind of the SEO mechanics a lot of people kind of don't do with local search to help appear it. So I'm going to answer your question, which is how to get local links, but I'll answer one step just before that. So name, address, phone number. If you've got a name and you've got an address and you've got a phone number, make sure it's the same across all of the places that you list on. Otherwise, Google does not like the inconsistency. Number two, when you upload images of your wonderful cupcakes, your wonderful pies that you bake, the wonderful bread that you bake, make sure you name the images appropriately, so that can actually help with image optimization and appearing in Google image search. Also, when you upload them with the alt text, keep that in mind for talking about what the product is. Make sure that you also ask customers to leave reviews across these other places, the directory, so Yelp, Facebook like page, Google My Business. So now when you go and try and acquire local links, in absence of having any educational content, you look like a super duper business. And therefore, it's going to be easier for you to be that local business that might, reach out to a company and say, hey, you know what, just to let you know, we work locally and we can deliver cupcakes to your door. So in this case, it needs to be about relationship building. So meaning that you need to build relationships within your local area, because if you want to acquire links, I mean, there's different kinds of links that you can acquire and stuff. And if you want to, but this is for the time poor busy. This is for the time poor busy business owner who might not have the resources to be like, right, I'm not going to hire a link builder because I don't even know what the bloody hell that means, Deepak, and what are they actually going to do? So I talk about it in the realms of things that you can do in absence of hiring someone. And just look at your local relationships. If you're a business that's been around or you're a business that's just starting, you're probably going to reach out to local businesses because it does work and it is important. And if you do, find out who's got a website and start building your list of local businesses that have websites, and then think about what the win-win is in why would they have a reason to refer our actual, put our link on their website, a do follow link. And you'll often find that you can think about a win-win, or you can just ask people, because a lot of these business owners just have a website. They don't really use that much. It's been around for 5 years. It is listed locally. And they'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll put a,
or you never know, like maybe they've come into your bakery and tried a cupcake and they're like, oh my gosh, absolutely, of course, I'd love to recommend you. Another one, I think, like if you think outside the box a little bit, you can go to travel bloggers who have done stuff in your town. Like go to a travel website, just some blogger that has done, here are the 5 best places to go in, Nottingham. I'm not sure where you are. You're in London, right?
No, good. Nottingham is not that far. Well, it's kind of far from me, but it's good. No.
I read something that was like Americans, the way they see the UK is like London, and that's it.
Yeah, well, I'm the same. It's like, well, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, London and then just the rest of the country.
I wouldn't necessarily be reviewing anywhere in the UK since I don't know where anything is. But if you see a travel blogger that has written about something in your town or they've gone to your general region, you can always reach out to them too and be like, hey, I've got this cute bakery. Why don't you come in next time you're in town? I'll give you a free cupcake. I would love it if you could include, a link on your site telling people to come to my bakery instead. So.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's fantastic. Courtney, you can do my job. I retire.
I don't know about that. I'm not as engaging as you are on social media. Okay, so we are nearing 20 minutes, which we promised each other was going to be our cutoff, because you and I both tend to talk a lot. So, all right, so let's see. Last question, final question probably. So what would you say are the most important steps for somebody who's not super familiar with SEO, kind of a novice level SEO, novice technical level? What do you think are the 3 most important things that a business owner can do right now to kind of like get themselves in the run and get themselves into the competition here?
If you're a local business and you want to rank locally, just plot a list of the towns that are local to you, 5-mile radius, whatever your business does, and however far your business can extend, and just begin building local pages for those areas. It's the simplest thing that you should do. So, if you're a bakery based in Fulham, or let's just say London. No, let's say New York, because everybody probably understands New York a little bit better. If you're in New York and you could get down to pages at a level of bakeries in the Bronx, bakeries in Harlem, bakeries in the Devil's Kitchen, and kind of.
It's Hell's Kitchen.
There you go. I just said that. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Here I am correcting you. I don't know a single town outside of London.
That's just anyway. So guys, just start building local pages. I mean, that's the number one simplest thing that you could do, and let's just start there. That's my number one thing.
And you can always use a tool like WooRank if you want to see how your keywords are performing, you want to see how your competition is doing it. It's a really great way to get a competitive advantage if you go ahead and look at your competitors' websites, see what keywords they're targeting, see what region their visitors are coming from, see what, keyword queries people are using to find them, and then you can kind of piggyback on their strategy if it's working for them. Or you can talk to a SEO professional like Deepak, and he can help you out too. All right, so I guess that's good. That's it for today. So Deepak, thank you so much for joining us and giving us this always insightful information.
Thank you, Courtney, for always being interesting as well. Thank you, guys.
Bye.